Well, there's your problem. It got a lot louder. I pulled over and noticed that the elbow cracked off of the muffler. I figured, well, it's at least still held on by 3 points. And then, like, only a couple miles later, did I hear a ping, 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 ping as the muffler was bouncing off the ground. It blew through the front mount. And I was just expecting that to catapult me. This is the earlier mount anyway, so I guess this will be my excuse to upgrade to the later mount. Well, I didn't film it, but I was doing a one-handed balancing act. I chocked the front wheel and I put a jack under the engine. I was kind of rocking the bike a little bit to get the pressure off that top bolt of that mount. That bolt goes through the front mount of the rear shock, and when you pull that out, the bike wants to collapse. So I was kind of just putting some pressure on that to get that bolt out and then to get it back in. The most annoying part of this whole process has been getting that one screw for the regulator mount onto the right side into the shock mount. It comes in from the inside. On my S3, the wires come from the far side of the shock mount. So I probably should have dry fit the two together before I put it on the bike. They had this bolt cranked down so tight, I bet I'm gonna have to try to press those bushings out. So I've made a little press that as I tighten this, it squeezes that bushing back. So I've pushed it much further outboard, probably too far, but at least now I can slide the muffler in. I think I'm gonna loosen up the header while I'm at it. I had those new exhaust seals, you might call them, in the head that probably need to be snugged up on, but I'm going to replace the hardware there anyway. I found some factory Harley flange nuts. This is just me being a little bit of a nerd. I'll replace them one at a time, but I'll leave them loose so I can fiddle with the muffler. Well, I've got everything test fit. I was a little bit worried that this new regulator bracket wouldn't work with my existing rear shock mount, but my shock mount is for the later shock. And in the parts diagrams, it looked like the only difference between the two was an extra hole on the mount. The right side threaded hole in the mount matched the hole in this bracket. The other mount has that hole in the center because the old regular bracket is just like a strap. So I'm glad all I needed to buy was this and this. Everything is tightened up. I'd say we're back in action. One thing I really need to fix here is put a bump stop back on here, but more importantly, this brake line is held on with a P-clamp. That puts that perfectly in line to get smashed when I turn the bars all the way. I've known about that, so I've tried to not do that, but I'm sure I've done it a time or two, and it's been done before, so that line has a kink in it now. I need to get those like brake line guides that space this off further, like I have on my S3. One guide here and one here. I hadn't really looked in here for this before, but it looks like I have the guide here and it looks like it's loose. So I just need the one here. I looked in the pile of parts that came with this bike and didn't find any. So I found these on eBay. It's two of the same part. Put a 90-degree on there and then installed it. I should probably put some blue Loctite on there. So I was wrapping up today and noticed I either lost or didn't install these. So I'll need to put some in there.